Hey y'all, welcome back to MovementLink. So we're continuing the conversation. We got a bunch of these videos just with clean and snatch mistakes. And there's so many common issues that we see happen with people. These movements are extremely technical and complicated, but the good news is when you're thinking about everything as linking together, a lot of times when we see an issue in one thing, we've got an issue in both of them and a lot of other things. And the good news is once we fix it one place, we fix it a lot of places. Today we're talking about jumping a little too early in the clean or the snatch. And so what we're looking for is as we're doing a clean or a snatch, we're trying to bring the bar up in that first pull and bring it up into a jumping position. So my jumping position is here, here's my clean, here's my snatch, here's my kettlebell swing, yada, yada, yada. So we know what that optimal jumping position is, and that is our goal. So what happens is sometimes, especially as the weight gets a little heavy and a little heavy, if we're not too experienced with that heavier weight, what happens is we just get a little impatient. So either we haven't honed our technique and haven't figured out how to get into our jumping position yet, or as that weight gets heavy, we just get a little impatient with it. So what happens is as I come up, if I bring it in and then I start jumping too early, I haven't gotten up to the point where I can kind of scoop under that bar and continue to get that power on the bar going straight up. And if I start jumping too early here, almost always it pushes the bar out in front. So with the clean and the snatch, that's a mistake. We come up, we jump too early, bar goes out in front. With the snatch, you might even pay a bigger price. And we see this, oh man, I always feel so bad. So guys and girls can hit their pubic bone, man, and it hurts a lot. I'm not gonna do it, obviously, well, I hope not. But I'm gonna come up, and as I come up, if I jump too soon, bam, right there, it's gonna hit my pubic bone, as opposed to coming up and then driving. Now I get above it to drive. So a lot of times people have a hard time, especially in the beginning as they're learning, because they whack themselves real hard one time. Sometimes guys rack themselves too. And it's hard to commit to pulling the bar back in after you've done that because it hurts. So if you're smacking yourself, just remember these exercises, we got to get into the hip and all these things, but it doesn't mean smack your pubic bone, doesn't mean smack your junk. You got to be careful, but that's just a clear sign that we're jumping too early. Then once people start recognizing that, what happens now is we get into workouts or metabolic conditioning where now we're cycling snatches together. And now it's so much harder to get that timing right, so people start whacking themselves in the middle of the workout. I probably shouldn't be saying whack so much with talking about the growing area. Anyway, moving on. So the thing to keep in mind, if you are hitting yourself on the snatch, or if you're feeling that bar come out forward, a lot of times it's just jumping a little too soon. And then going back to what I said earlier, a lot of times this happens because as we get heavier and heavier and heavier, we just have to be so patient. So especially when we're doing cleans and snatches and Metcons, cleans and snatches lower than 80-85% of a max, that bar just comes off the floor at a completely different speed. And so as we're coming up, we're so used to the timing of how long it takes here before we jump. And if we haven't done a lot of clean and snatch pulls or cleans and snatches at that 85%, 90% or above, we forget sometimes that when it's heavy, it's not gonna fly off of the floor. And so we gotta be patient, and it's not about a timing, which we kind of get used to in our head of a pull and jump. It's about a position, and it's pulling to our jumping position till we go. So a lot of times we start seeing people jump way too early when it gets heavy, just because they come off the ground and they kind of start freaking out and they just jump too early. So it's all about being patient. You'll hear that a lot in the clean and the snatch from your coach, is you got to be patient, and that's what we're talking about. You got to be patient on the first pull. It's not about how, it's all about position in that first pull. So you got to be patient, making sure you're getting to that jumping position. That way we can scoop under that bar and make sure it's driving up. It's not flying out on us. Hope that helps. Talk to y'all soon.